a very strategic partner there. When you think about what happens next with regards to the broader threat, not just to Europe, but of course NATO nations, you talked a lot about China. What worries you the most today?
China is an authoritarian power, investing heavily in new modern military capabilities, in long-range missiles that can reach the whole of NATO, advanced nuclear weapons. They don't share values. They crush down on democracy in Hong Kong, minorities, in the Uyghurs in China, and they actually work more closely with Russia than they've done ever before. There actually was a joint statement between President Xi and President Putin calling on the closing NATO's door, no more NATO enlargement. And of course, this matters for our security. We don't regard China as an adversary, but the rise of China, the military might of China, the cooperation with Russia matters for our security, and therefore NATO has to address that.
Absolutely. Now, I asked you this question a couple of months ago when we were sitting in Brussels, and I pushed back and I said, listen, at the end of the day, what does that actually mean for NATO? In the sense that, as we see China potentially helping Russia, and we're talking about economically, strategically, perhaps militarily, as you suggest, what would be NATO's response?
It means a lot for what we do as a military alliance. Everything from, of course, making sure that we maintain the technological edge, that we have the most advanced systems, and therefore we are investing more in technology. It's about resilience of our critical infrastructure. We had a very important discussion about 5G networks. And allies realize that, of course, we have to also take security considerations into account when we decide who's going to provide these 5G networks. It's about countering disinformation. We have seen during the Ukraine war that actually China is sharing the same false narratives about NATO provoking this war, not calling it a war actually, but a military operation. And it's about working closely with partners in the region. So at the NATO summit in June, we will have Australia, New Zealand, Japan and South Korea coming to NATO, partners that share our values, a rules-based international order.